Hey loves, it's Britt, and in this video I wanted to talk about the natal aspects Mercury, Trine, or sextile to Uranus. So these aspects are going to show a mental brilliance, genius, quick-mindedness, although sometimes with more so the Trine, we're going to see maybe some mental laziness as well. Like, it's more common to see people with like a square aspect actually like make something of their talents because of the pressure and the frustration that is embedded in the square. But with the trine, sometimes it's such an ease and a flow that we may have mental brilliance, we may have genius, we may have this very quick thinking, unique perspective and way of speaking and communicating, but we're less likely to actually do something with it or about it. Not 100% of the time. You can definitely see people doing a lot with trines and sextiles, but sometimes it's something that's just missed in the person because there's also this element, specifically with the trine too, where it's like you almost just think that everybody has that gift or ability unless you've studied astrology and you like really study your trines and really think about how this is a gift that you have. This is something you've carried over from a previous lifetime. Without that, you might just miss the fact that you are incredibly gifted in this area. So that's why I like to talk about trines and sextiles in my videos, because I do think that it's very common for astrologers and also even, people studying their own birth chart to focus immensely on the squares and the oppositions and the challenges, right? And then we can kind of miss what we're naturally gifted in. So the trine is significantly more powerful than the sextile. We've got a real ease and flow, but because of how easy it is, it's easier to miss. The sextile is more the aspect of opportunity. The sextile is also a more social aspect. Think of the third house, Gemini, and the 11th house, Aquarius. These energies are the energies of the sextile. So people with the sextile of Mercury and Uranus, this can come out a lot more relationally. So meaning the person with Mercury sextile Uranus is kind of like this master at speaking with various different groups and connecting groups. They might even be like in charge of some sort of group or some sort of like social media program that's very like 11th house. And they're great at connecting people, and they can be more outgoing socially, or at least more prone to like using this gift of mental brilliance to communicate with a wide variety of people. Okay, so the Mercury sextile Uranus people are going to usually, not all the time, but usually it's going to come out in a more social way, where the people with the trine, I wouldn't say these are introverted aspects at all by any means, but like the trine might have a more internal way. Like it might be more like creating by themselves or like writing a book by themselves. And like that's when the flow of energy comes out. You also want to look at the signs that these aspects are taking place in, and that's going to also flavor the energy. But the trine and the sextile are actually all aspects between Mercury and Uranus are very common in astrologers. There is a natural gift for astrology, and this can definitely be something that they're interested in, something that they're gifted in. There's also can be gifts in like studying anything, but especially science or humanitarian related things, and psychology, or it doesn't necessarily show a certain interest, although Uranus can definitely be like innovative, like we're thinking of things that have not been done before, things that have never been said in that way. Like the person with Mercury trine Uranus might just go ahead and say something, and it's like it's never been said like that. I have a wide trine between Mercury and Uranus, and it could be too wide to be counted, but I have Mercury in Gemini and Uranus in Aquarius, so that's already like a doubly strong emphasis because they're both in their natural rulership. And so I definitely spent a lot of time studying the trine aspect because, my positive thinking, you want to grab onto trines in your natal chart, even there if they're a wide orb. You want to like reach for those rather than, the hard aspects that are sort of wide orb. You can just leave those out. But the trines that are in a wide orb, you want to kind of reach for those and really emphasize them because they are gifts that are maybe more subtle, but definitely like are in there. They're a part of you for sure. So, you want to study all the aspects, but you just want to know that the closer aspects are going to be the most dominant in your personality, right? So anyways, I have a trine between these planets, and something that I think is related to that is like I am an incredibly fast reader. Like I can read so quickly, and also I have a photographic memory of birth charts. So like if you give me your birth chart and I have a photographic memory of that. I don't try to memorize all my clients' birth charts, but it's something that I just naturally do. Like if I do someone's chart one time, I remember all the positions of their placements like forever. And so there's certain things with my mind that are very quick. Now, there's also, with these aspects, there can be a bit of impatience too, like where, I can find myself reading half a book and then just starting another book, going on to the next thing, right? And so even like in all of the Mercury Uranus aspects, even in the so-called easy aspects, we can see kind of a restlessness or a mental impatience, not being able to stick with the same thing for long, or even like an impatience with like when other people are talking and they talk extremely slow and it's like, come on, just get to the point. And then also there can be complaints, like I've had people say that I talk too fast, right, to try to slow it down or whatever, and it's like, well, I just can't be bothered by that. Like, so there's also, I think too, with these aspects, there's like more so with the trine probably, but there's like an authenticity that comes out, and you still have a bit of like the rebellious mind. Like you're still kind of like not going to be told how to think, and there's a very much like needing to come to our own conclusions about things. Like people with Mercury Uranus aspects are not just going to be like, oh, well, that person said it's like this, so that's what it is. It's like, no, you have to find out for yourself, and like you come to your own conclusions, and you probably believe things or think things or have studied things that are kind of like controversial or different or unique in some way. So there's a very unique mindedness, and I think with the trine and the sextile, the gift is that there's no like awkwardness about that. There's no like frustration in that. So you actually are more accepting of your unique beliefs and your way of thinking. Like it's not like, oh, I have this insecurity that I think differently and I speak differently, or it's like it's a gift. And I think that people with the easy aspects are more inclined to see it as a gift, whereas people with the hard aspects, which are equally as brilliant, like the quincunx, which I'll talk about, you guys have requested, the square, I'll talk about, you guys have requested that I talk about those, the mental brilliance is equal to that of the trine, but the trine people or the sextile people accept it in themselves more, whereas the square people and the quincunx people think of it as like a dehabilitation more. Like there's more anxiety. There's more like, oh, what is wrong with my brain? Am I ADHD? Am I autistic or whatever? Whereas the people with the trine and the sextile are like, no, like I'm just brilliant. So, and, in some cases they could still feel like the restlessness, the anxiety, but when we have an easy aspect, it's like we have less tension within about the energies, about the archetypes. So like we could have other people saying, your mind works too fast, or your ideas are too ahead of their time, you're crazy, you're insane, whatever. And the trine people, the sextile people were like, well, that's kind of your issue. And so there's more confidence in the way the mind works and the different ways of thinking that we have when we have the trine and the sextile. So that's a part of why it's a gift, is that you're not going to block yourself. You're not going to think, oh, this is too crazy, this is too out there. You're just going to roll with it and go with it. And so there's a real naturalness in communication, a real authenticity in communication, and you can actually be quite charismatic or captivating because there is something very unique about the way that you speak and the ideas that you have. Like, they are channeled, they are like, it's like this flow of electricity, this electrical current from source, and you just speak it out and you just say it. And yeah, it can be shocking at times, but you roll with it. And you can definitely come out with, your own school of thought or your own very unique ideas that they're not coming from your childhood. They're not coming from your background, your upbringing. They're not coming from books. They're not even coming from anything. It's like your ideas are your own, and your way of speaking, your way of thinking, your way of communicating. It's like it's alien, it's out of this world, but yet you're also very comfortable in expressing that. And so, yeah, these are great aspects to have. Great for astrologers. Great for people working with people in any sort of way where you have to uplift them or you have to bring in a unique energy that has not been seen before. So it's actually a gift, like in the mind, it's a gift in communicating with people. Although, like I said, there can still be trouble in people understanding you because you're so quick or you're ahead of your time. And you also don't really give a F about that. So you might not be patient enough to like slow it down enough to like explain to people what you're actually talking about. That's actually one of the downsides of a Mercury Uranus aspect, especially the easy aspects, is like you can lack patience for other people that don't quite get it. They're not like quite on the same wavelength, whereas someone with a Mercury Saturn aspect would like be able to slow down the mind, and the mind works slowly anyways, that like they could actually like be a better teacher in some ways, you know what I mean? Even though there's more mental like anxiety and like frustration in how they think, it's like they're able to like slow it down and dumb it down for people. But people with Mercury Uranus aspects like have a really hard time to like actually slow the mind down enough to properly like teach someone a concept. It's like they don't even know how they got there. They don't even know how they came to these conclusions. So it's like you just have to you either get it or you don't. And so that can be one of the downsides of a Mercury Uranus easy aspect, is like, well, when people aren't understanding you, you're just kind of like, okay, well, I guess I'm just ununderstandable. Whereas you could actually take the time and have the patience and do some breathing exercises and calm yourself down and then explain something to someone, So that's actually common for all Mercury Uranus aspects, is this like difficulty in making yourself like understandable to people, because it's a little bit out there. It's a little bit, it can be hard to explain where these insights are coming from, because like I said, often it's intuition. It's like an intuitive mind. It's an equally intuitive and scientific or logical mind. So you're actually not, with these aspects, it's not like the Mercury Trine Neptune people where it's like super right brain. You actually have like both. You have like the logical mind, but the logical mind is aided, the left brain is aided by these flashes of intuition and insight. So you're actually both, your left brain, your right brain with these aspects. And the left brain is aided by the flashes of intuition from the right brain. So yeah, it's pretty fun aspects to have. You'll definitely notice people with these aspects, the way that they communicate. There's just something different about them. There's something exciting about them. There's something like, people always say to me, like, I've never heard an aspect explained like this. And I'm just thinking, well, what did I even say? Because I have no idea what I said, because it was not planned. It was not calculated. It was all channeled, right? And I think you guys will understand what I'm talking about. It's like, well, thank you, but I have no idea what I said in that video. But I said it in a way that's never been said before, I guess, and it was helpful or it was healing. So Anyways, yeah, I'd love to know your experiences of these aspects. If you have them in your natal chart, how has it been for you? I'd love to know. And yeah, I definitely consider that I have this trine, even though it's a little bit wide. It's definitely one of the aspects that I do feel that I have. So I hope that I did all right articulating that. Um, yeah. Okay. Love you guys. Thanks for watching, and thank you for your requests. We'll talk soon. Bye.